funny. Soon you'll see how your girlfriend likes your new scars.
One of the most popular mutants from the X-Men series is Wolverine. So obviously his arch-nemesis, Victor Creed, better known as Sabretooth, is also quite talked about. These two are ex-teammates and subjects of the Weapon X project. While Wolverine worked to use his anger in a much more productive way, Sabretooth embraced the primal rage that he felt, becoming one of the most gruesome mutants to ever exist in the X-Men universe. This mutant has struck fear and terror wherever he has gone, and his reach lies far beyond the comic book panels. In this video, we'll talk about all the appearances of this mutant in the animated series and movies to see what kind of damage he delivered there. So strap in, the journey is about to get rough. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. TV series. In recent years, Marvel fans have been spoiled with highly detailed sagas of our fan-favorite characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For older fans, the only source for it was the animated series. Since 1966, there have been several animated adaptations of our favorite Marvel heroes that a lot of us have grown up with. The Marvel superheroes, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and Silver Surfer are only some of the names on the huge roster. On the eve of 1992, the X-Men joined this list of such adaptations by the Marvel animated series. With such a big debut, you'd have to wonder if Sabretooth got his fair share of screen time. Well, let's travel back in time and see if our boy Sabretooth got his plot arcs in all the X-Men animated shows, starting from X-Men the Animated Series, 1992. The pilot episode of the X-Men animated series starts with chaos. There are explosions, car crashes, and police trying to control a mutant who seems to have gone rogue. This mutant is none other than our boy, Sabretooth. That's right, even though Sabretooth is a villain, the series starts with him thrashing around downtown. Talk about a banging opening. The animated series is set on Earth 92131, where Grayson Creed Sr., with his recognizable yellow mane and rage, is Wolverine's arch-nemesis. While he does not share the same name as his Earth 616 counterpart, this Sabretooth is just as violent and chaotic. He does not think about how his actions would affect the future of mutant kind, hence his outburst in the downtown area. Later, as the series progresses, we learn a little more about his character. At first, when Sabretooth is taken to the X-Men base after he's captured, Sabretooth is more than happy to go along with whatever Professor Xavier wants. He let the professor infiltrate his mind and let him see if he could work on Sabretooth's trauma and help him be a more peaceful being. But later, we get to learn that this was an espionage. Sabretooth had joined hands with Magneto and was only pretending to be a good guy who loved his mutant brethren, but had ill-timed outbursts of rage, which got him in trouble. Once the ruse was up, Sabretooth made a hasty escape out of the X-Men base, but that was not the last we saw of him. He tracked Wolverine to the Arctic Circle just to exact revenge on him. After all, revenge is a dish best served cold. He'd set up a trap, which almost worked, but Wolverine was saved by the local Inuit tribe. However, the opportunity to antagonize Logan presented itself to Sabretooth again, when he found out that one of the locals didn't like Logan. Using the local boy named Kiuk, Sabretooth managed to lure Logan away from the village. Once Logan was not around, Sabretooth burned the village to the ground, shocking both Logan and Kiuk, who were in the middle of the sea and spotted the flames from the village. Once the shock wore off, Kiuk and Logan joined hands together to defeat Sabretooth. When they found out Sabretooth had kidnapped every member of the tribe and had them strapped to this icy bridge that he was about to blow up. This plan would have worked, but Sabretooth was defeated by Wolverine when he was distracted and thrown into an icy ravine. After his icy burial, Sabretooth showed up again after quite a few episodes, when Logan was forced to face his past with Weapon X. He had a run-in with Sabretooth, although in this episode, Sabretooth and Wolverine worked together to defeat the common threat, a robot called Talos. Things change yet again when Sabretooth joins hands with Apocalypse. As the latter's ally, he kidnaps psychics from all over the world and delivers them to Apocalypse. This led to him being taken prisoner by our heroes, but you can never keep Sabretooth jailed. The man escaped yet again. While Sabretooth didn't have many episodes dedicated to him, whichever episodes he appeared in showed very blatantly who he was as a person. He's sneaky, cunning, and most of all selfish. The late Don Frank's role as Grayson Creed Sr. is truly memorable. XMen Evolution 2000. No matter which Earth you look into, Sabretooth and Wolverine seemingly never have a good relationship. It was no different on Earth 11052, where the X-Men Evolution is set. Somewhere down the line in this Earth storyline, Victor Creed and Logan became enemies, and neither of them was willing to let go of their grudge. So now we have a years-old animosity. Wherever Logan went, Victor would be close behind, spying on him. Similarly, when Victor decides to go near the Xavier Institute, Logan takes on the role of the stalker and follows him. The confrontation between the old pals was not good, and Victor, seeing he would be overpowered if things took a turn for the worse, decided to bounce from the scene. True to his role as a full-time stalker in the series, Victor was seen again spying on Evan Daniels. Evan Daniels, better known as Spike, was a mutant boy who could manipulate his bones to a wide range. Seeing his powers, Victor decided to get himself some of that and went ahead and attacked the young boy. While not much came of the attack, Victor learned that Logan was living in the Xavier Institute, which gave him more than enough reason to attack the Institute. But what Victor was not expecting was a group of young mutants and the X-Men ready to fight him. Seeing that things were going south, Victor was forced to flee. But the fight that he was seeking so badly eventually happened. When he was fleeing from the Institute, he found Evan, Kitty, and Rogue alone. Seeing the youngsters, he cornered them, and sure enough, that was enough to force Logan to challenge him to a fight. The fight that followed was brutal, and the years of animosity and hatred were obvious. Sabretooth lost this fight when Rogue touched him and turned off his powers. Even though Professor Xavier sent Victor to the Arctic in the Blackbird, Victor showed up again. When Professor Hudson, the head scientist of the Weapon X program, decided to activate the chip in Logan's head, he forced him to travel to Canada. There, Logan and Sabretooth faced off against each other, and thanks to Professor Hudson's meddling with Logan's brain, Logan was forced to join hands with Sabretooth to hunt Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde. Victor was seen again, one last time in the series, when Magneto decided that the Brotherhood and X-Men should have a competition to see who was stronger. Victor undoubtedly was paired to face off against Logan, much to his amusement. I don't think anyone else but Michael Donovan could have made this almost stalkerish, vengeful version of Sabretooth seem so cool.
Bring in Sabretooth.
Wolverine and the X-Men 2009. The show is not a direct sequel to the XMen Evolution, but it follows up on some of the final moments of the previous show, such as Logan parting from the X-Men, anti-mutant sentiment being on the rise, attacks of Sentinels, and Magneto leaving the Brotherhood. With the Brotherhood no longer operating under Magneto's commands, things got interesting real quick for our villains. Owing to the political situation, everyone, the heroes and villains, were in grave danger. Here, Sabretooth is Wolverine's former partner in Weapon X. When Mystique informs Wolverine about Maverick attacking his own daughter, Wolverine decides to stop Maverick. This incident rubs Sabretooth the wrong way. Christy Nord was the target, and it would have been better to kill the target simply. But Wolverine was not willing to hear anything along those lines, and this led to their fighting. Peter Lurie captured all the emotions that Sabretooth felt, and why, in his eyes, this whole saving the target business was futile. This version of Sabretooth is less explosive with his rage, which is great. Anger management can truly do wonders.
Taking all the fun out of this.
Ultimate Spider-Man 2012. Peter Lurie reprised his role as Sabretooth in the show titled Ultimate Spider-Man, although this show is mostly focused on Peter Parker's adventures as he figures out how to manage his powers. In one of the episodes, the X-Men and Peter's paths cross. Almost like the 2000s campy movie Freaky Friday, this episode, aptly titled Freaky, deals with Peter Parker and Logan switching their bodies. Peter woke up in Logan's body and had no idea what he was supposed to do. Like anyone in a new situation, Peter panicked and kept retracting his claws uncontrollably. In the midst of this hilarious situation, Sabretooth kicked open the door of Logan's apartment, leaving the helpless Peter to fight off this raging monster. Peter tried to explain more than once that he was not actually Wolverine, but Sabretooth wasn't interested in anything he was saying. Instead, he accidentally stabbed himself in the chest. Panicking more, Peter escaped from the apartment with Sabretooth on his tail. This scene reminded me too much of Mean Girls, and what do you know, just like Regina George, Peter also got hit by a bus. Using this accident as a distraction, Peter somehow managed to escape from the situation, but he ended up stabbing himself in the leg. This injury helped Sabretooth track his scent, and he found out what had actually happened. Before Spider-Man and Wolverine could switch back, Sabretooth showed up. Sabretooth was enjoying seeing the heroes struggling with their powers, and thought this would give him the better shot at killing them both. But sadly, he was defeated when both heroes worked together as a team to knock him out. This Victor Creed is the closest to his Earth 616 counterpart in both his personality and power set, which was definitely refreshing to see.
Hello, Japan.
Marvel Disc Wars: The Avengers 2014. It would be a crime if we were not to mention the Japanese anime series with Marvel heroes. Here, Sabretooth shows up as a recurrent villain, set on Earth 14042. This show explores the adventures and misadventures of our favorite heroes with Akira Akatsuki, a young boy with a shining sense of justice. In episode 16 of this show, we get to see Victor Creed for the first time. Here, Victor is sporting his classic look from the comic book panels. He's ruthless and barbaric. He doesn't hide how much he loves causing mayhem and destruction. His curiosity and desire to create chaos lead to him being trapped inside a disc. Disc is a digital identity securement kit. It was designed by Dr. Nozomu Akatsuki, Akira's father. He undertook a project with Stark Industries to detain supervillains. Now, this was supposed to be a controlled procedure, with biocodes to ensure safety. However, somehow Loki got his hands on the biocodes. This led Rosetta Riley, one of Loki's people, to release Sabretooth. Once out of the disc, Sabretooth swore that he was going to kill anyone who got in his way, even if they were on his team. With that, Sabretooth made his way to Techno Isle, where he destroyed anything that he could. This drew the attention of the Avengers, and soon enough, the heroes showed up on the scene to stop the mutant. Iron Man went up against Sabretooth, but quickly realized that Sabretooth was far too strong for him alone. All the Avengers joined the fight one by one and unleashed their powers on the mutants. But owing to his fast healing factor, Sabretooth was unstoppable. Right when the Avengers were running out of ideas, Wolverine decided to join the battle. Knowing that Wolverine would be more than capable of damaging Sabretooth, Manino Giordani of the Celebrity 5, the evil group, sent 3 destroyers. The destroyers are enchanted armors made by 3 Skyfathers, Odin, Zeus, and Vishnu, to protect the world from Celestials. These armors are stronger than Uru and Adamantium, so these would be the best backup for Sabretooth. However, as Sabretooth had not asked for any help, he found it offensive that the Celebrity 5 sent him backup. So instead of fighting with Wolverine, Sabretooth slashed one of the destroyers and decided to confront Rosetta, as she thought she was in charge of this. But when he learned that it was not Rosetta, he was not in the least bit scared of her. Even when she threatened to trap him in the disc, Sabretooth couldn't care less. He even slapped the disc away from her hand. This forced Akumo, Rosetta's co-worker, to secure Sabretooth in an empty disc to protect Rosetta. But that doesn't mean we did not get to see Sabretooth and Wolverine have a fight. Finally, when the X-Men and the Avengers join hands to go against Loki and infiltrate Loki's castle, Sabretooth is one of the first villains who tries to stop the heroes. Wolverine and Sabretooth clashed, and while we don't see the fight play out, which sucks by the way, we do see that only Wolverine returns, so Wolverine probably won. Japanese voice actor Takuya Kirimoto, popular for playing Akado Yoroi in Naruto, Ekichiro Saido in Bleach, and Iber in Death Note, played Sabretooth in this show, making his screen presence all the more impactful. Movie. But this is not the end of Sabretooth's adventures as an animated character. Other than TV shows, Sabretooth made appearances in animated movies like Hulk vs.
I've been waiting for this a long time.
Hulk vs. 2009. In this video, we get to see an active Weapon X team with Sabretooth, Deadpool, Lady Deathstrike, and Omega Red as members. Here, the members are given a task of recapturing Wolverine along with Hulk. They wanted to capture Hulk and use his powers in the Weapon X project, wanting to create a horrific mutant. Now, this whole kidnapping thing would have been easy if they were tasked to capture someone who's not always angry and extremely powerful. So needless to say, the Hulk managed to escape the facility. While he was making his escape, he coincidentally ended up freeing Wolverine. As free men, both of the heroes were on their way out of the facility when Sabretooth tried to stop them in their path. Here, we truly understand just how strong Hulk is. He swatted Sabretooth like we swat flies. And oh boy, Sabretooth turned from this extremely strong mutant to a tennis ball, soaring through the sky as he made his way into the mountains. This was the last time we saw him in the movie. But oh lord, what an iconic exit from the movie. Mark Atchison's performance as Sabretooth is worthy of all the praise he gets from the Sabretooth fans. Marvelous verdict. Since his first ever introduction within the X-Men universe, Victor Creed has been a recurring character. It's obvious to any fan of the comic book series that without Sabretooth, Wolverine would be incomplete in a way, just like Magneto is incomplete without Professor X. They're both people with comparable powers, but one uses it for good and the other uses it for evil. This key difference changes their entire characteristics so drastically. While Wolverine controls his rage, Sabretooth goes wild, showing just how dangerous Wolverine could be if he were to explode like like this. With the inclusion of Sabretooth, we also get to see how the other members of the X-Men team view Logan. For example, in the X-Men animated series, when Professor X was sure he would be able to rehabilitate Sabretooth, he believed that Logan was being prejudiced against his enemy every time he acted out. Later, Logan's warnings turned out to be true when he catches Sabretooth attacking Jubilee. This definitely helped Logan's image in the eyes of his team members, who no longer brushed off his warnings as the ramblings of an angry man. Furthermore, over the years, the portrayal of Sabretooth has definitely improved. With each animated series, his portrayal came closer and closer to his comic book counterpart, whom we all love. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!